another video. So today, I'm going to be discussing something very cool in Wings of Fire, and that's the covers for the novels in other countries. While a majority of them feature the same artwork the English versions have, there are quite a few countries that have their own. Some of these are very different and feature dragons super unlike anything the English ones have. If you guys want to see more in a potential part 2, be sure to let me know, because there are a ton of awesome alternate covers. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Dwarfliver95, Thistle, Noopto, Pyronuke, Avril, Pancake, Escarada, Adequin, Alex Cleaver, Shadow Hunter, and Atlas Stargazer. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. To anyone wondering why some countries have other covers, the primary reason is that it comes down to culture. What appeals to people certain places may not in other parts of the world, resulting in local artists illustrating the covers in a style that's either familiar or preferred for most people. Not all printings feature these, but some do. Starting with the Dragonette Prophecy, China, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and a few other countries all have this version of the cover. Oh my goodness, Clay looks terrifying here. He's definitely less of the cinnamon roll we know him as. The Purian tribes are drawn completely differently by this artist, which does throw me off a bit. But honestly, I think this is super cool. And whoever drew it is really talented, because this has so much detail, even if Clay appears a bit more menacing than usual. Germany's cover has that same ferocity too, and I really love this person's art style. Plus, the background reminds me of a fantasy book's map. I really love this, and Clay does retain some of his familiar elements, such as his colors and muscle. I've discussed the Japanese translations in past videos, but I adore the artist's interpretations of the Dragonettes of Destiny. I mean, look how adorable Clay is here. Everything looks so nice. Persia kept the iconic art of the Mudwing protagonist, though formatted the cover a lot differently, which I think is super interesting. I like this a lot, and my attention would be drawn to it if I saw this out at the store. It's really cool how the copy in Ukraine keeps most of the accurate version of Clay as the original. Even though it's different, you can definitely still recognize him through his primary features. The backdrop is very reminiscent of the setting of the book, which is great. When it comes to the Lost Heir, the China, Czech Republic, and Slovakia versions are all also the same, and feature this sick art piece of their tsunami. She looks almost like a 3D model, which maybe it is. I'm not too sure. The oceanic theme is still kept, and the general style of it all matches up with the clay piece from the previous cover. Germany took a very different approach, with Tsunami appearing in shades of purple more than blue. She's also a lot longer, and swimming in front of a scroll background. Man, the German covers are some of my favorite international ones because of these backdrops. It reminds me so much of Coral Scrolls with this one, and her story of the Lost Heir. Turkey, however, has one of the most unique differences, since Tsunami doesn't even seem to be much of what we consider a sea wing at all. Still, it's awesome. I really love the textile used on the Japanese cover, and Tsunami's design here is fantastic. The Ukrainian version reminds me a lot of the cover for Talons of Power, except with Tsunami taking turtle spot. I wonder if that was intentional. Regardless, it's stunning, and the faithfulness to the original design is fantastic. Head into the rainforest with the Hidden Kingdoms variant covers, especially in some prominent countries. Wow, Glory is definitely more lizard-like in appearance here. And she's soaring through the jungle dangerously, which turned out epic. On the other hand, Germany took a lot more of a relaxed approach, instead picturing Glory resting on a scroll, her scales in beautiful colors. She looks a bit aquatic to me, like Tsunami. Japan's depiction of glory absolutely had my jaw drop when I first saw it a few months ago, and I cannot wait to see more versions of the 𝙈1 covers as the translations release in that country. One of my favorites of the Ukrainian covers has to be this one with its colors that just had me starstruck. Starflight definitely scares me a bit in one of the popular international covers. It's one of the most different ones for sure, but I can't help but marvel at how cool it is nonetheless. Germany gave Starflight a bit more of an Iceman look, at least in my opinion. Rather than being near a scroll like the others, he's soaring up to the night sky. Such a beautiful depiction. Man, I want to own the Germany copies too. Ukraine took advantage of the volcanic setting of the novel, giving us this piece. Starflight is standing dangerously close to the lava's edge, looking panicked and scared in this new place. Man, would you look at this brightest night cover? It honestly might be my favorite in this art style, at least for 𝙈1. Sunny is so heroic and strong, and gives me dinosaur vibes. Germany again knocked it out of the park, although their Sunny kind of reminds me of a mud-sand hybrid in a sense. However, the desert illustrated here is fantastic in every way. I just love this. I'm not sure if Ukraine has translated The Brightest Night yet, but if they haven't, I'm sure I'll love their cover too. There are so many alternate versions of the novel covers we love, and it's great to see all the different interpretations around the world. Again, if you want me to look at more with you guys, I definitely can in a part 2. What do you think? Which of these is your favorite? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.